Okay, so I was out shopping and I went to this place. I've never been there before, never seen any of it. It was so bizarre. And maybe that's what it was, a bazaar. Um, but part of it had been I guess, mechanic shop. Well, not guess, it was huge. And it probably was, undeniable. A huge mechanic shop. Not one of these old-fashioned ones, but you could still smell a hint of oil. Okay? Car oil. Yeah. That kind of thing. But in that part of it, it was, mainly it seemed like a bakery. Well, that is a weird choice. What used to be a mechanic shop is a bakery. But it was also, like I said, maybe a bazaar. And, had different things in it. And I was just kind of walking around. I was a little scared. It was a little too weird for me. And it just seemed like, I don't know. But then I went across this old friend of mine. I'm talking from grade school through high school. And she was looking quite bizarre too. I'm using BA and then BZ, back and forth, BI. But she had short hair, and she never did when we were younger. And her look, she was looking like she was from the dark side. I'll just put it that way. And she was real, like, scattered. And she saw me and she said, oh, you got to be here. Like it was some kind of destiny that I was there. And, but she named her boyfriend's name, and I remembered. I wasn't friends with her anymore. But I still remember the person and, him. And I never liked him. And, it kept going on and on like this. And I'm like, I really just wanted to go home. But she was acting very bizarre, like very, like she wasn't really there. But then I found out why, was that she was planning her really odd marriage to him. And they were going to have it they were on their way to have it. He was just coming to meet her there. It was going to be in some kind of stall next to what used to be the auto shop, an auto shop. And they were going to be tucked back in the back between what now is bread, and they cover it up so people from the street don't see it, these big things of bread and all. And they were going to be in the back and get married back there. I was like, why such weirdness, And everything about her, the way she was acting, was weird. And she said, well, I want you to be there. I want you to be there. You're going to be my witness. And I said, okay, And, but I just didn't like him. And I was wondering what he was going to think. She wasn't thinking about him. And I didn't want a confrontation with anybody. And I didn't care for him. I really didn't care to be there at all. And then while I was waiting, the manager, I think it was the owner of the bread place said, look at all this bread that we have sitting there. There's a big box and everything. She said, take all of it that you want home. I'll get you some boxes, and you can have it. We're going to throw that away. I was like, okay, but I really don't need it. And so then I was looking at it, and I was thinking, Adam might like that stuff. I don't usually eat bread anyway, and I really don't. But it was different kinds of bread, and I'm sure he would like that kind of stuff. And that manager was so much, like she was very neat. So she was trying to be real neat and helping me pack it up and everything, and throwing away the stuff that she knew, that needed to be thrown away. And very, very neat. And I'm like, I really don't want any of this. And I was just like, then thinking about, what's she going to think, what Adam's going to think, Then what was my friend doing with her, soon to be husband, very soon to be. And I was like, I really don't want any of this. And then her friend got there and she called me over and I went over there and they were walking across the part that had been the huge part to it that had been the, where they fixed cars, the biggest part of it. And, that shop. And he bumped his shoulder into me on purpose and just ignored me. And I'm like, I really don't care to be in any of this. And somebody else's drama, somebody else's all this. And anyway, so then I walked over there to where they were going to get married and I woke up. Yeah, it was a dream. And I was thinking, why was that the dream? What a dream. At first I had a little bit of an interpretation of it. And then I thought, no, this is all about how I worry about other people. I think about them. I get pulled in to their dramas, their situations, whatever else it is. We're thinking about what they want, not enough about myself. And it's very true. This is what I tend to do. I say so many times that I cannot walk a straight line to get to one place to the other without somebody calling me, or even the dogs, even our pets, over all this year. Without somebody needing my attention, somebody needing something. And when am I ever just going to, like I would say, when do I ever just get to go from where I was sitting to the restroom? To our half bath, to the restroom, and back, without anybody stopping me. And these days, that's not good because I have so many things on my mind as it is. And, so many things I'm doing. I'm not a, person who just sits there and does nothing. If I watch TV, I fall asleep. So, yeah, I can't do something that's just sitting there, quietly watching TV. And I've even fallen asleep in a chair in the master bedroom watching the TV. And that's it that we put in there. And I just fall asleep. I have to be active, but mine, not me try to go from there to there and somebody stop me to do something for them. Or the dogs need me to stop to do something. And these days that just doesn't work out for me. And 30 minutes, 45 minutes later, I'm like, what did I start off to do? Really. Sometimes it's like that, 30 minutes, sometimes even an hour, or more. I remember, like, what did I start off to do? What was my initial intention to do something? And then all this stuff happened. And yeah, I'm taking accountability for my own part, is to just not say, And I do say that now. I say, I'm going to do one thing and get that one thing done. Period. Okay. It's too much. But anyway, that was on my mind. Woke up. It's 5:30 right now. Yeah, right at 5:30. I don't know. I bought some new clocks, and it's kind of strange how one of them, well, Adam bought them. He was out, and I had said that I need a couple of clocks. Just regular old-fashioned clocks. And one of them the long hand doesn't, and actually, the second hand, isn't that what it's called? And I don't know what they're called anymore. I haven't used them in eons. It just doesn't do right exactly on one of them. This one looks pretty much now. Oh, maybe not. I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Talk to you on another video.